Hey, I'm JR, training manager here at Crutchfield, and in this video we're going to talk about how to choose a TV. There's so much to think about with TVs these days. What size TV is right for you? How much resolution do you need? 4K, 8K? Should you get an LED or an OLED TV? What's the refresh rate all about? Aren't all TVs smart TVs anymore? And of course, price. So we're going to break it all down for you. One of the first things to consider is whether or not it's a primary TV or a secondary TV. Is it the one you use for most of your movie and TV viewing, or is it something you have in a separate room, like a bedroom or a kitchen or things like that? If the TV is going to be in one of those secondary rooms, you may not need to invest as much. They'll all do a great job in just about any room. If it's your main movie watching TV, you might want to go with something a little better. When you start searching for a new television, you're going to notice there's a lot of TVs, and our website offers several tools you can use to narrow your search down to the TV that's perfect for you. You can sort the list of TVs various ways. You can use filters on our website to find TVs that have the features you want. There are also really great customer reviews on most of our TVs. Use those tools to help you find the perfect TV for you. Let's talk about size. The easy answer is get the biggest TV you can afford and fit in your room. The reason for that is we can actually sit closer to TVs than we ever have before. Your old TVs from years ago looked blurry when you were too close. That really isn't the case anymore, and you're probably looking for a more movie theater-like experience anyway, and those screens are pretty huge. So you can sit closer, and if you're sitting further away, the screen should be bigger. So go as big as possible. You won't be disappointed. If you're looking to go super large, pretty much anything over 80 inches or so, you might want to consider a projector and a screen for the most immersive experience possible. We do have an article on Crutchfield.com that goes into the details. It even includes a TV size and viewing distance chart so you can help figure out what is the right size for your living room. Okay, let's talk resolution. We've mentioned it several times now. Let's break it down. There's plenty of 4K content available via streaming apps and over Blu-ray discs, and most of our TVs are 4K, so that's almost the standard now. You're also going to see some TVs that say they are 8K. There is no 8K content available as of right now. However, when you watch non-8K content on an 8K TV, it will upscale it, it will add detail, and it will look better on an 8K TV than it will on a 4K TV. So if you want the best, 8K TV is where it's at. Most of us are completely happy with a 4K TV experience. Let's talk about the HDMI inputs on your TV. Most TVs have 3 or 4 inputs, and they're not all the same. Some are different levels of HDMI certification. The best right now is HDMI 2.1, and that supports the highest resolution, the best high dynamic range, and the gaming features found on the newest gaming consoles. That's when it's important to make sure you have a TV with HDMI 2.1. So let's talk a little bit about those next generation gaming console features that you want your new TV to have. For example, you're going to want the ability to display 4K resolution at 120 frames per second. New gaming consoles offer something called VRR, or variable refresh rate, which prevents screen tearing and creates a smoother motion. Auto low latency mode makes it so your TV does less processing so that the action in the game from your hands on your controllers happens as fast as possible. You don't want any lag or latency there, and you don't have to put your TV in gaming mode to make that happen. It happens automatically, as well as enhanced audio return channel for better surround sound during the gaming experience. So you're going to get those with HDMI 2.1 on your TV, and you want to make sure your TV has that. Next, let's talk about high dynamic range. You're going to usually see it abbreviated as HDR. Dynamic range is your TV's ability to go really bright to really dark and everything in between. And a TV with HDR can go brighter and darker, and as a result, give you better, more vivid colors and better contrast. There are 3 main flavors of HDR. The difference is how much information and when your movie sends that information to your TV to control its brightness and colors. With HDR10, it happens once at the beginning of the movie. With Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus, it continues to happen throughout the movie for an even better, more immersive experience. Dolby Vision is primarily found on LG and Sony TVs. HDR10 Plus is a Samsung technology. You might be considering whether to buy an OLED or an LED TV. Let's talk about the fundamental differences first and why you should get one over the other. The main difference is how light is used to create the image. On an OLED TV, each individual little pixel creates its own light, which means each pixel can be on or off depending on the scene. With an LED TV, there are lights behind a liquid crystal display that shine through those liquid crystals to create the picture and the colors. And as a result, they are a little bit brighter and will do great in a brightened room. An OLED TV will be better at colors, maybe more contrast ratio, and will probably look more movie-like and really shine in a darkened room. Those LED TVs are not all created equal. The best LED TVs have more light bulbs. In fact, we call it full array local dimming. There's so many light bulbs back there, they can be turned on and off in different zones to give you pretty close to the performance of an OLED when it comes to contrast ratio. You might be wondering if burn-in is an issue or something to be concerned about on an OLED TV. And for most people, it's nothing to worry about. They have built-in technologies to these TVs that move the pixels around and refresh the screen, so it's pretty hard to burn an image into your screen. If you work really hard, you can get it done. If you have a gaming console on and you leave it on the same screen for many hours, you might burn it in. But that's really hard to do. If you're concerned about that, though, you might just want to get an LED TV. You really won't have those issues. Refresh rate is certainly something to consider when buying a new TV. There's two main flavors of refresh rate, 60 Hertz and 120 Hertz. What that means is the TV is literally refreshing the image 60 or 120 times per second. The more times it does that per second, the smoother the screen will look, especially with fast movement. The larger your screen, the more important that is. So really, 120 Hertz refresh rate is the sweet spot. Look for that. You're also going to see some manufacturers offer additional processing that is designed to smooth that motion. We generally recommend turning that processing off, mainly because that processing is what causes soap opera effect, or sometimes your TV shows and movies just look a little weird. That's that technology adding additional processing. Not to be confused with a straight up 120 Hertz refresh rate, which is what you want. Should you get a smart TV? I challenge you to not get a smart TV. They're pretty much all smart these days, unless you're looking for a dedicated outdoor TV. For those TVs, you might have to get a separate streaming device to allow you to do all of the Netflix and HBO and stuff. But any TV we sell designed to go inside your house is going to be very smart. It'll be compatible with your Alexa and your Google, and will give you access to pretty much all of the streaming apps. Usually you can update or add new apps as they become available, thanks to the magic of smart TVs and how all that's evolved over the years. They're pretty great. You can even take stuff from your phone, whether you have a Apple phone or an Android, and you can use AirPlay 2 to cast onto your TV, or Chromecast to get what's on your phone on your TV. All this stuff has become pretty standard in smart TVs these days. And if you're going to be doing a lot of streaming, especially in 4K, you're going to want to make sure your internet is up to the job. So make sure your internet service provider is giving you at least 25 megabits per second download speed. Some streaming platforms even recommend up to 50 as a minimum for streaming in 4K. Long story short, you're going to want a lot of download speeds to get the best picture quality and sound quality from anything you might want to stream. If you're considering, or if you have already, cut the cord and are using over-the-air broadcast TV with an antenna, you're going to want to make sure your new TV has an ATSC 3.0 tuner to get the best resolution and the best sound from those local TV stations. And if you're in a large city, there's a good chance you have several TV stations already broadcasting in ATSC 3.0. If you're like the rest of us in the rest of the country, that technology will trickle out over time, and we will get even better over-the-air TV as time goes on. So if you're looking for a new TV, hopefully you found this video helpful. There's plenty more resources available on Crutchfield.com. In fact, you can even talk live with an advisor on the phone or chat with them online. To do that, just go to Crutchfield.com/contact. You can also post your questions here on this YouTube video. We will look at those and answer your questions accordingly. Also, while you're here, please like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Thank you for watching.